We're Russell and Amanda. We're usually travelling around New Zealand in our Hymer Campervan. We've hopped on a plane and come over to England to travel around in a hired campervan for 3.5 months. We're on the road to Wales and we're looking to see what this coast is like, checking out some of the heritage along the way and telling you stories of the past. I'll get my camera out and film as much as I can. This is our Lost in UK series, so feel welcome to go back and watch previous episodes, so you feel like you're coming along with us. We're just cruising the UK. We welcome you along for the ride. We just left Frome, where we stayed in the car park for the night. It was fairly peaceful, except for one boy racer that went past about 2 a.m.
There's only one highlight today, and that's the Severn Bridge. We're going to cross it in probably about an hour. We've never been on it before, but apparently it's fairly spectacular, so we'll take you with us.
So this is Bradford on Avon. We're passing through. It's a lovely wee spot.
Look at that, pretty nice. And we're on the K&A Canal, the Kent and Avon Canal, which is pretty famous in the UK. Quite wide at this point. We've seen a few canal boats.
We're starting this episode heading up to the west coast of Wales. A bit of a travel day. We'll be missing out Bristol and Cardiff and finding a place to park up for the night. Just going over the Prince of Wales Bridge over the Severn River.
There we go. We're going into Wales.
It's been about 30 years since we've been to Wales. We can remember dark buildings, slate roofs and quite grey skies. After our adventures down to Cornwall and the Isle of Wight, we're starting with a blank slate. We're not putting any expectations onto Wales, but the sky's blue ahead and the next part of our adventure begins. It didn't take long until we got to Southerndown, where we're going to stay for the night.
Okay, so
What's that?
go over there.
We've arrived at Southerndown and we've bought a ticket from the electronic ticketing machine. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Which was very handy as it takes your card. And we're parked up for the night. Anyway, we're off for a walk with a few spots of rain. I'm going to try my luck, at least have a look over this bank before I turn back if it gets too wet. Just the odd spit coming down. There's some interesting rock formations below me, bottom of the cliff and across the other side. But also it looks like an old fortification. We found this spot on Park per night. It was a pleasant surprise to find there was more here to see. There was a small shop when I got down to the car park and some people there collected money for parking. They informed me that it was actually a walled garden and that I was free to wander around and have a look. This is the gatehouse to Dunraven Castle, which is now ruins, and there's not really much left up on the top of the hill there, only the garden remains. So here's the Dunraven Historic Walled Gardens. I'm not going to read the Welsh. Open to the public daily. This is the first thing we notice when we come into Wales, is all the signage has got Welsh and English. Now we've got the fruit trees in this part. In the early 16th century, life was more secure under the stability of the Tudors. Country houses and walled gardens to protect against wandering mirandas and wild animals. This allowed the plants to be grown in remote areas. At Dunraven, the geography of the land provides a sheltered valley on an exposed coastline. Since the first walled paddock was built in 1543, successive generations have improved the site according to the husbandry practice of the time. An attempt has been made to develop a series of themes for these gardens: Tudor, the story of fruit, and the plant hunters and the Victorian. Been in the car park for the night. Had a few lovers come to look out on the view, but other than that, mostly a settled night. And we're just going to check out Ogmore Castle before we go and get our breakfast. So the Ogmore Castle was one of the few castles in this area that was left. Parked at the top and walked down through a stables area to get to the ruins at the bottom of the street.
Ogmore Castle was built over 900 years ago in the 12th century. It was the home of a knight called William de Landes, one of the many Norman lords who came over from France to conquer England and Wales. The castle protected William, his family, servants and soldiers from the local Welsh population who weren't very happy about being invaded and kept revolting.
What I was interested in seeing was there was meant to be some stepping stones across the water, but only at low tide. It's high tide at the moment, you can't see them, apart from just where they emerge from the grass over there. I'm not sure whether my camera will pick it up, but there's the stepping stones under the water now. Before they had a bridge to walk on, and you could step across the stones. That's our first ruins. There won't be too many of them, but certainly worth a look seeing we were staying here. After our visit to Ogmore Castle, we just drove up the road a wee bit, up into the valley, found a nice little bridge and stopped and made our breakfast at the spot before carrying on up through Wales.
We're just on the way to Tenby, which is a coastal village in South Wales, and according to the GPS, it's 58 miles. There was too. Where to park. Just go up by those campervans up there somewhere.
After arriving at Tenby in the rain, we decided a car park and a walk into town wasn't a good option. So we looked up the app and found Meadow Farm campsite, which was sitting on the top of the hill. This is the closest campsite to town. From here we could catch a taxi down to town for £5, which is exactly what we did the following morning. This is the wharf area where the fishing boats are, and also a lot of tourist adventures out to the island, out to Cathedral Island, and I think there's another island they go to see the puffins. But the weather out there is not suitable for boat rides today, and all the boats at the moment are high and dry. All the shops and apartments look great with their pastel colours all in a row. And over behind the wharf was another surprise, a beach and an island that you could visit.
St Catherine's Island has an ancient chapel which has been built there and dedicated to Catherine, the patron of weavers and spinners. Work began building on the fort in 1867 with the aim of protecting the royal docklands at Pembroke and Milford from French invasion. It's been a zoo over the years, in the 60s and 70s, but today the St Catherine's Island is privately owned.
Boy, she's a busy beach down here. Going to go over to this island that reveals itself at low tide and you can walk across. I'm not the only one. Of course, like most things, it costs £5 to go up the path and have a look at the old fort. And not a bad view of town looking back from here as well. Well, I wasn't expecting glass chandeliers on the ceiling. You might be surprised to know that it was used as a zoo and animals were kept in here as well. Looks like we have another spiral staircase going up the tower. Okay, I wasn't expecting to find a bath up here. A few cells and things down here. Pretty amazing. What do you know? Another bathtub. Look in the wee cubby holes on the left, you'll see there's a Halloween sort of things with scary monsters and spider webs. Obviously being used as a set during the year for something. There's the chapel. It's amazing how many rooms they've got and how much space is in here. Looks quite small when you're down on the beach, but it's massive. I left Amanda down on the beach. She said she'd just sit there and wait, but her inquisitivity got the better of her. On arrival back to the main hall in the fort, here was Amanda. She'd walked up the hill by herself. Pirates. Anyway, that's enough scary adventuring through the fort. We're going to head back to the camper for the day.
I'll read it to you. In 1953, Dylan Thomas visited this pub. He became so drunk that he left his manuscript under milkwood on a stool.
So we're just walking along the edge of what's left of the fort walls. You can't go on top of the walls now, and there's businesses backing onto them. So walls were right around the town at one stage, but now this is the only part of the wall that still remains. Anyway, we're just going down here to Sainsbury's shop, and this is where most of the taxis leave from, so we'll catch a taxi back up to the camping ground. We've had a good walk around today. It's been fun. Out to the island and the beach and everything.
Compared to what it was last night or yesterday when it was howling rain, it's been a wonderful day.
We woke up to a sunny morning. It's a beautiful day compared with the last couple of days. We'll probably wander downtown and have a look at the market, go for a coffee somewhere, and then we'll be on our way again tomorrow. We found this classic little cafe overlooking the bay.
We're now sitting at a cafe and Russell will show you the view over North Beach.
Quite a nice place to sit out, isn't it?
Yeah, don't want to leave. As we've been driving around England, we've spotted, not quite on every corner, but in every suburb, one of these boxes. And someone told us it was grit, and this one says grit salt, so we're about to open it up and see what's inside. And if you come over and have a look, Russell, it is just grit. There's no shovel, but obviously when things get icy, you can spread the grit in your area. TPU's furnishing department.
Luckily the market was open today. Just had a last look around the town today, and then we'll be heading off tomorrow by the new place. So we've had 3 nights here at Tenby, which has been really fun. First day was really rainy, yesterday was average, and today's brilliant. Oh, thank you.
You're more than welcome, thanks. Enjoy. So just take that, thanks.
If that looks yummy, I'll enjoy that. And that will be the end of today. New day tomorrow.
We're just leaving Tenby now. It's pretty quiet actually because it's Good Fridays. Quite a good time to get out off the roads. We've had a wonderful time here. Just keep walking around the edges of the hills and lots of infrastructure, very vibrant. Not many empty shops and everyone enjoying life.
We're on the road down to White Sands. Head through to here, White Sands, which is, you can't book, you just got to turn up. Otherwise there's 3 camping grounds around that area that we'll try out. And if we can't get into them, we'll head inland a bit where everybody's coming from and find a nice wee quiet place.
campsite. Well, that would do us. A lot of people are there, but we could go in 30 through here. Big campers. Oh, look at the big seawall.
We both really enjoyed the drive up the coast, these little towns that you come across.
Solver. Oh, this will be Solver, is it? Yeah.
Car park here, which is quite good.
Caravans and carrying overnight parking prohibited.
We're keeping an eye open for any places we can park over for the night, like a car park.
Yeah.
We've just arrived at a rugby club at St David's rugby ground here, and I saw some campers on the side of it. So we've stopped off, did some talking to the owners, and they said you're welcome to stay, use the toilets, use the showers, £15 a night.
Well, I said to them, how can you turn away 2 All Black fans? We're on the other side of it, yeah. Oh, good on them, because that's how you need to make the money.
White Sands Beach is only 5 miles down the road from here.
Yeah.
We're not risking going down and finding that it's full when we've got somewhere we can stay for the night that's perfectly fine. We've escaped the rugby club between the rain showers to wander into town. There we go. New homes starting from £475,000. And we're over there. Notice they've all got solar on the roof. And again, more of these nice coloured pastels on the houses that are painted. There, I found my nice old stone cafe. Heading down to the old stone church. We've been to a few churches along the way, but as we stepped through this arch, I was blown away with St David's Cathedral. Absolutely amazing. I'll show you some of inside. This crow flew into shot and must have really wanted its picture taken.
St David's Cathedral was built nearly 900 years ago, where St David, the patron saint of Wales, once lived and preached. The cathedral is made of beautiful stone and sits in a peaceful valley. Even kings and pilgrims came here long ago. Today it's a place of worship and history, reminding us all of Wales' deep Christian roots and St David's message to be joyful, keep the faith, and to do the little things.
After an explore of St David's, the town, coffee shop, and St David's Cathedral, of course, we're going to head back to the camper van. Tomorrow's another day. What have we got for drinkies tonight?
Well, we've been driving past and it says crab for sale, so we went in and the man took us out the back of them and had this wee platter, which is crayfish and different seafood bits. So.
And mandarins for £1.
Yeah, they're quite good.
Just coming to White Sands Beach with the camper this morning and having a wee look at this place where we were heading for last night, but we didn't stay, which is a first in first served place.
I think we would have got in, it said 30,
yeah.
It's not 30 here.
It's on a bit of a slope. Anyway, we paid our £6 and squashed into this car park so we can come down and have a look. There's some walks and things around here with people walking out to the island and there's a man at the gate.
It's quite helpful.
It was good to check the place out, but we really need to get back on the road. But before we do, we're just going to pop into the cafe here and have a coffee. Well, it's a bit of a tight car park, but certainly a nice bay. White sands and a wetsuit and a surfboard, you'd be in heaven. So £6, I guess most people come down here and just stay here the day. We're heading back to the rugby club now and have a bit of a stroll around town in the shops and call it an evening. There's preparation to leave. Amanda's off to drop off the rubbish tin and just getting some of the jobs done in the camper van. A bit of a tidy up in the bathroom and things before we hit the road. It's amazing how things get so messy in a small area when you're living in it, the two of you. We're going to leave the St David's Rugby Club where we're parked up for £15 a night, and we're going to head up the west coast of Wales, probably to Fishguard. So we'll see what we can see on the way up and just enjoy the journey.
Very good here. There was showers and toilets, but we didn't actually use them in the end. We just used their rubbish. A good 10-minute walk into town, but it's all flat, quite vibrant, a lot of people hanging around, and the most stunning cathedral that you'll probably ever see.
That's all now, folks. We're going to leave this episode at this point. Next episode in a fortnight's time, we'll be going to the Strumblehead Lighthouse to check it out on the way up to Cardigan, where we'll be staying. Thanks for watching, and enjoyed having you along, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm not trying to make money from these videos. In fact, I get nothing from them, and I have to pay for some royalty music. So if you can whack that subscribe button, as once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I can actually get a little bit of money back from YouTube. If possible, that's great. Otherwise, don't worry. Happy to have you along.